Good evening. Welcome to Entracte Audio, the shop, where people come to look at and, more importantly, listen to things like these things. And first of all, if you have questions about what I'm talking about today, please email me at entracteaudio@rogers.com, entracteaudio @rogers.com. If you want just more general information on the product or the people that make them, go to Angela-Gilbert.com, Angela-Gilbert.com. I managed to spell that correctly. I know this is going to be a good video. It's about 9 o'clock on Sunday, December 4th, 9 o'clock in the evening, that is. We've just finished an open house here at the shop. It was actually a really good day, fun day. But the reason I'm doing the interview now is because this was kind of a question that came up today. This is the C312 preamplifier from Angela-Gilbert Yeung. This is the i810 integrated amplifier from Angela-Gilbert Yeung. They look almost identical. The C312 is a preamplifier. The i810 is an integrated amplifier. That's a major difference, and easy to explain. But the control sets look very, very similar. In fact, they're identical with the exception of this switch and that volume control knob. Or at least they look identical on the surface, but they're not. Let's start with the i810 integrated amplifier. Okay, and let's specifically talk about the preamplifier section of this integrated amplifier, because after all, we're really comparing preamp to preamp here, and control set to control set. Master volume on this end, selector switches on this end, okay? Those are both obvious features. We have balanced 1, balanced 2, single-ended. For the single-ended switch, we have single-ended 1, single-ended 2, single-ended 3, a total of 5 input options. There's no point showing that because, as we'll see in a minute, we have exactly the same input options available on the other amplifier. Okay? Here's where the difference lies. This amplifier is set up with a dual parallel hybrid gain stage. I just made that up. I think it's a fantastic marketing term. It's probably incorrect, but who cares, because it sounds fancy. What we have here is a tube gain stage control and a solid state gain stage control. You get to choose how much tube you have, you get to choose how much solid state you have, and the only person that can decide whether or not you're right about how this sounds is you. Okay, you personalize it to your preferences, your music, your room, your speakers. Okay, it's a very valuable tool. You can use this. It's not an EQ. Let's not call it that. It's a tonal profile shaper, which means you want a little bit more warmth, you dial in the tube. You want a little bit more punch, you dial in the solid state, dial out the tube. You've got 2 controls, and in conjunction with the master volume, you've got a very usable and flexible tonal interface here, which will help you develop the sound you want for your own system. A real tube, 6SN7 tube, chosen for availability, durability, stability, and sound quality. In point of fact, it's a nice warp sounding tube that works really well in conjunction with a parallel gain stage that's set up as solid state. So a great thing to mix and match with. Over here, same idea, but we have 3 gain stages overall, three gain stage levels overall. Again, with a dual parallel gain stage here. This one's a little different though. I'll get to it in a minute. First of all, we have our warmth control, which is used as a pre-driver for these two gain stage controls, simulated tube and solid state. So the same kind of mixability and flexibility. You want warmth, dial in this control. You want punch and definition, dial in solid state. That's currently about my favorite setting right now with it, but I've only had this amplifier since this morning, so I need more time to get to know it. And I have to tell you that in playing throughout the day with some power supply supplement units, I found that the more capacitance you add to this thing, the more tube I want to hear. So give me a few weeks to dial this in properly, and then maybe I'll make another video on settings. So we use the pre-driver. We can actually drive this tube circuit into saturation if we want. We can actually drive this solid state circuit into overdrive if we wanted. That's not really the use of the function. But you have to taper the gain controls that way to make them usable in a meaningful manner. So again, warm control up front, simulated tube here, solid state here, and an even wider variety probably of ways to change the tonal profile of your system. I'd be hard pressed to say which one's better. They're both great. Honestly, the only way to judge which one's better is to hear both and make that judgment for yourself. If you want to come and check these out, I strongly encourage it. They're great pieces of equipment. Very flexible, very musical, and super enjoyable to listen to. So, contact me if you have questions. As always, thank you very much for watching. Have a great night. Talk to you later.